All right, are you ready?
I'm ready to go.
Sweet. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Gaming with the Bros Cast, episode 181. My name is Harrison. I am joined by my brother Nick. As always, Nick, how are you doing, buddy?
What's up? What's up? Doing good. Doing good.
Yeah, man, it's a big week in gaming. We got
Big Monday. Yeah.
big Monday. We got Armored Core to talk about. We've got Sea of Stars to talk about. That launches tomorrow. We got Starfield dropping Thursday night. Reviews drop early Thursday morning. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, like a sneaky big week.
Yeah.
Kind of feel like it came out of nowhere. Like this week just came up so quickly, and now we have three.
And it's a 3-day week or a weekend coming up. I mean, it's just the stars are aligning, Nick.
The Sea of Stars is aligning.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to get to Starfield. Before we talk about all that stuff, I'm sure we'll do some. I know we could do some review predictions or something like that. I can't remember if we talked about that last week, but we can do that. And it's and September's coming up next week, Nick. We might be in for a little bit of a direct next week, possibly. We just never know.
I think it'll be mid-September. Early to mid. We'll see.
Yeah.
But the stars always align there too.
Yeah.
So it's always September.
I do want to talk about the direct. I know a lot of people are tired of it, but I want to get some kind of basic predictions from you here in a little bit. But we'll talk about that here in a moment. But how was your week?
It was good. Just a lot of.
I see the doggy down there.
Yeah. She's pretty attached at this point. She's getting some pretty severe separation anxiety when we go
Really?
when we go out.
Aww.
Yeah, she'll howl and bark, and we set up like an indoor Ring camera, and we'll peek in every once in a while when we're out doing stuff. But yeah, she's been barking. She's been missing us. So it's a good and a bad thing because
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do y'all put her when you guys go away? Do you put her like in the crate?
We've kind of split between both, but we need to commit to one. I think we're gonna try to just continue with the crate.
Yeah.
Since that way she's not pacing around the house, and she really shouldn't be like having her heart rate that high and moving around so much because of the heartworms. But
yeah.
So we're gonna try to keep her in her crate. But we'll see. I mean, it's only been a week and a half. She probably still thinks that we're gonna abandon her at this point.
Yeah. It's been through a lot.
Yeah, and she was with her foster for a week and a half, so she kind of went through the same thing with them.
Yeah.
So you never know. I mean, it could get better. It's just right now she's very, very clingy.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, but it's been good. We also had some people over this weekend for Alicia's birthday, and she was great around all the people.
Good.
Yeah, she just kind of did her own thing. She like came out and stood in the circle of everybody for a minute, and it was just like, why is everyone looking at me?
Did she let people like pet her and stuff?
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, she wasn't approaching people necessarily. I mean,
yeah,
she did with a few people, but she was pretty fine with letting people pet her. She
was
was just kind of like away from everyone else for the rest of the night, and she was like just
it's
laying
too
in the
much.
kitchen.
It's too many people.
She likes to lay on the kitchen mat, like right next to the sink, which is it's a weird spot.
Do you guys have like an air duct right there, or anything?
No. We just have like an anti-fatigue like kitchen mat.
Okay.
So it's pretty comfortable.
It's the comfort zone.
So. Yeah, it's the comfort zone.
Nice.
Yeah, but
that's good.
Yeah, other than that, just been chilling. Played some Armored Core on Sunday, and
yes.
Yeah. How about you? How's your week?
It was good. Pretty solid week. Didn't really do much interesting. Second week of I guess really first week of school. So just trying to get used to the new school system or the new school in general, and figuring out all that stuff and car rider line and stuff like that. But it was good. I took Kellen on Saturday. I took him to the barber shop for the first time. He's got his haircut before, but it's been my wife that's been doing it. So he got we went there, and I was like, well, let's get him the old fade, right?
Oh,
so,
you did not.
Yeah, so they faded him up, and he did not like it. He started crying like halfway through because I guess because he kept shifting the hair. When you get a fade, like it's really fine. So I think all that hair got in around his neck area, and it was just super itchy and just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because I asked him when we were in the car, and I was like, did it hurt at all? And he's like, no, it was just really itchy. And I was like, okay, I mean,
That's what it was.
I was like, totally understandable. But he got in the car after we were done. He was like, can I take my shirt off? And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. And he had like hair like all the way down, like all in his belly and stuff. I was like, what did you do in that chair?
Were you wiggling around over there? Man?
But he looks good. But yeah, I probably won't take him back for a while.
Did you take a picture?
I think I did, but it was like right when we started. But
yeah,
he did not enjoy it at all.
Well,
Got him some McDonald's to make up for it, and then we went home and I gave him a quick bath and stuff. And then he was good.
he's just a little itchy. At least he didn't dislike the haircut itself. Like,
yeah, well, he likes it. He likes the haircut itself because he can like rub the back of his head and it's like all, spiky or whatever he calls it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he wasn't a fan of it. But
that's cute.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah. Other than that, just
chilling.
Yeah, I was haven't really been helping my friend move anymore because he's pretty much done, other than just getting some stuff for his apartment, like essentials and stuff like that. But we gave him our old washer, and this thing is like going to be the death of me, man. Like, we got it in there. Still can't figure it out. We got it in there. He ran a load, like a load, just to kind of clean it and cycle it, and it started smoking. So I went over there, opened up the front, and mind you, I'm not anything good with electricity or plumbing or anything like that. I've gotten better since I've got a house, because sometimes you just got to do it. But opened it up, started kind of messing with some stuff, and the belt just disintegrated. It just fell off. So I was like, okay, belt. All right, cool. So ordered the belt. Had the hardest time. I had to take off like the motor, and the piece that was supposed to come off didn't. And so I was like, all right, well, let me YouTube it, and I'll come back, another day. And I YouTubed it, and I was like, well, why isn't this piece coming off? And then it turned out it was just corroded so bad that it was just stuck. So I had to kind of wiggle it out. So I did that, got everything back together, got the belt on there. It took me forever to do it. Got everything working, plugged it in, turned it on, and the drum wouldn't spin. So I'm like, all right, man. I was like, this thing is free. I've tried. I don't know what to tell you. So
figure it out.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I'll try to YouTube it one more time and give it one more try. But
at this point, just have someone come out.
Yeah, I think just either get a new one or have somebody come out, and it may be a super simple fix. I could have, because I made sure the wiring was plugged in before I turned it on. But I was like, man, I'm so over this thing. It's defeated me. But yeah.
This is a slow move that Antoine's doing.
Well, I mean, he's got everything.
He's been moving for 3 weeks, right?
Yeah, I mean, he lived at a house with his friend, and none of the stuff was his, other than like his bed and TVs and stuff like that. Oh, okay. He had some stuff in the basement, but his roommate's a hoarder, and it's just jam packed with stuff down there. So he's like, I know there's some shoes and some like clothes down there. He's like, I'm not even gonna go through it. He's like, whenever you decide to clean up and down there, he's like, throw that stuff away. I'm good, because they had like a huge mouse problem and stuff like that. So he pretty much started like fresh, other than like his beds.
It's good.
Yeah. So he had been Facebook Marketplace and a lot of like furniture and stuff like that, and we had gone and you taking the truck out there and picked some stuff up. So he was pretty much like starting over. But
hey, sometimes it's better just to have a clean slate.
Yeah.
With all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it was like stuff that had been down there for like 3 or 4 years at that point. So he's like, it's probably just riddled with mouse poop and pee and stuff like that. So
and you don't want to bring that.
You don't want to bring it.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
hey, one second, I'm gonna go flip the switch.
Okay.
Right here.
But yeah, pretty much starting over. And he's getting there. He's getting there. But Nick, let's talk. I guess you've got Vampire Survivors on here. You've still been playing that a little bit.
Dude, I've still been playing crap out of this game. I'm like playing through the first DLC, and I thought I had like beaten the game last week when we talked, but I hadn't rolled credits, and I actually rolled credits yesterday. So
Okay.
that was like another few hours of content, and then there's like still so many characters to unlock and so many weapons to unlock that I still haven't unlocked. And like I'm at the point where every run's a 30-minute run.
Yeah.
Every run I'm just killing it, man. Like my character is like powerful enough, and I have all of these cool characters and weapons that start with like really great stats, essentially, that you just start off really well.
Just decimating people.
Yeah, and then there's these like perks you can get too that kind of change the flow of the game, and there's like random cards that you get. You can get 3 of them, and they all have effects. Like one of them brings all of the items on the map around you.
Yeah.
So like it'll bring like all the experience points around you, so you can just pick it up right there.
That's pretty cool.
It allows you to level up faster, like stuff like that. But yeah, like I'm most of the way through the first DLC, and I'm gonna go through the second as well. But
okay.
Yeah, this game, it's so good.
Yeah,
it's
I need to.
I really love it.
I need to dive back in. When after I got done editing the podcast last week, I think I laid up in bed for like 2 hours, and I did my first 30-minute run.
Nice.
And then what is it like is it Death that comes in, like kills you instantly?
Red Death.
Okay.
He comes in. You can fight back. There's a bit of a path to get there. And
I mean, it was like
weapons, but
I don't think there was any time for me to do anything. He just immediately came in and swiped me, and I was dead.
So there's a specific, like it's like after you finish like the 5 levels, there's a specific weapon you get called the Laurel.
Okay.
It's like this green thing, but once you do like the weapon combination, it caps the amount of damage you can receive at once to 10.
Oh, okay.
So that way the Red Death guy can't kill you.
Insta kill you. Okay. Oh yeah. Wow. Okay. So this game's a lot deeper than it seems on the surface. Then that's pretty cool. Okay.
Yeah. There's like a lot of like really out of the blue cool moments that happen in this game that
I mean, I was just towards the end, like, I was kind of mind blown how well it runs. I mean, again, it's a pixel game, but how well it runs with all these enemies on the screen. And then when I had like the chain lightning going on, like I was just decimating enemies.
Yeah.
And the Switch never like hiccuped once. I mean, it was a pretty seamless experience, but it was really cool.
Yeah, it's been pretty seamless. There have been a few hiccups, but like at that point, I'm not dodging anybody.
Yeah.
Like and you've probably gotten to this point, but it's like that kind of stuff where there's just you know hundreds of.
Is that live right now, or is that something you recorded?
No. This is just something I recorded.
Okay.
And it looks so ridiculous, and like if anyone who wasn't playing were to look at the screen, they just like, what the hell is going on here?
I can never play this. It looks impossible.
You're just so zoned in, right?
Yeah.
That, like you feel the music and you just play it.
The music is so good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. So I need to dive back in and play some more here, but
you do.
Yeah, but man,
all right.
Big game of the week: Armored Core 6.
Armored Core 6, AC6.
Our first. It's definitely mine. It's your first Armored Core, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. My first Armored Core. We've both played all of the other FromSoft games, essentially, at least from Dark Souls onwards.
Yep.
Just right off the bat, you have to do the comparison. How would you compare Armored Core 6 to a game like Dark Souls or Elden Ring or Bloodborne?
I mean, I can see some similarities in there. I have no context of other Armored Core games, but I mean, just simple, up on the D-pad heals you, right? And you only get a limited amount of those. You don't get those back until you resupply. Yeah, I mean, but the combat feels once you start getting into like fighting some of the other
Like the other ACs.
the other ACs, that's when it really starts to feel more like a faster Dark Souls. But it's definitely a lot different than a typical From game. I think it's just so fast. It's so ridiculously fast.
It's really fast. I would say the difficulty is still there. I mean, for
For
sure, right?
for
With the
sure.
bosses, maybe not with like the standard missions, but the ones
Yeah.
that have bosses, yeah, that difficulty definitely still there. And I feel like the skill check in this game, Baltius,
Yeah.
one of the hardest like skill check bosses that I've faced, I think.
Yeah, it took me a couple hours to beat Baltius. It was
I was sweating.
yeah, it was I was getting to the point where like my hand was starting to hurt. My hand was starting to cramp up because I was just inputting so and this is like the first game I've played where I'm sitting here using every single like bumper and trigger at the same time. Yeah. Pretty much just because everything controls a part on the mech. But yeah, I mean Baltius was definitely and honestly I didn't really see it coming because you fight that one mech prior to entering that coral area. And then you turn around and you fight this ridiculously hard boss out of nowhere. But yeah,
and like this, I mean, for those who haven't beaten the boss yet, I'm sure there are a lot of people who got stuck.
Yeah.
Well, what was your loadout going in?
So at this point, I didn't have much. I didn't really have a lot of options to pick from. So I think I used the I can't remember the name of it, but I think it was like the pulse rifle. It's the one that kind of looks like bubbles coming out because that thing just shreds the shields.
Yeah.
And then I had the pole. I did upgrade to the laser sword because that was a little bit stronger than the plasma sword, I think, or pulse sword. So I upgraded to that one, and that one's I think if you held it down, you did like. Kind of did like 2 360s in a row. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that one's good. I got that after the fact, which I was
gotcha
mad about.
And then I think I just had I think just the basic rockets. Maybe I think I had the basic rocket pack that you start with, and then I had one that was kind of like it was a homing rocket on the left side, but you shoot it and it's kind of slow, and then it speeds up as it's going towards the enemy. But pretty much my strategy going into it every time was immediately just thrust into the fray, kind of dodge all the bullets, hit them with the sword, and then kind of as I'm firing the pulse rifle at the same time as I'm charging up to him, and I could get his shield down pretty much instantly just about, and then get some damage in on him, but. That second phase is where it starts to get real tricky with that flame sword he has.
Yeah, see, I almost feel like I had more trouble with the first phase because I couldn't get the beginning down.
Yeah,
I was using an assault rifle with the plasma rifle.
Yeah,
and I feel like I should have just upgraded my sword and used that with the plasma rifle instead because the assault rifle didn't really do it that much damage. And so I couldn't get down his shield at the very beginning. And then I had to follow him, and then he kept hitting me with the with like the one missile
that got me almost every single time. I was getting so frustrated with that.
And when it would happen, like pretty close to the beginning of the fight, I was like, "Well, I'm screwed."
Yeah, because it takes like almost half your damage away. It's ridiculous.
It's crazy. So
I was trying the melee, the sword, like that thing is pretty. It's pretty OP in general. Like that thing, it can knock out a lot of enemies pretty easily. But yeah, it definitely came in handy on this fight. But yeah, it's tough, man. I did the old when I beat it. I dropped my control on the couch and I did the old Tiger Woods fist pump. Let's go.
Let's go.
But yeah, it's other than that, the only other trouble I really had the game was obviously like the first boss, like the first mission boss was like a little bit of a challenge to get used to the game.
Yeah.
And then there's one side mission, I think, where you come across the invisible enemies. Have you done that mission?
Mm-hmm.
So you go through that, and then you jump down into like the
that's tough.
Like the dried up coral area, and there's like 4 enemies, and 3 of them are surrounding you, like hanging on the walls, invisible, shooting you, And then you have like the main one in the middle. That's I don't know, he's got like a electric whip that he uses.
It's a cool
So
weapon.
it was tough, and I don't know if it was a camera thing or I just could not locate the enemies quick enough for me to be able to do something. Because they would shoot, and like it was kind of timing based because you could hear the sound of them shooting, and then you have like a millisecond to hit X and dodge out of the way. But I eventually got it down, and I ended up beating that area within a minute or so once I figured the routine, I guess, down to beat it. But it was definitely, I was on that mission for quite a while.
Yeah, I did the 3 outside ones first, and then ended with the one. Yeah, that seems to be the probably the best strategy. But yeah, that was tough. I struggled with the cleaner a bit. I was just playing around with different weapon loadouts, and finally just ended up using the laser rifle,
Yeah,
and I think I used the shotgun too.
I heard I did read that the shotgun was a pretty good counter to the cleaner.
Yeah, and then I had like vertical missiles, and I would target the volcano on the back and have the missiles go in there, so that would stagger it a little bit. But yeah, that one probably took an hour.
Yeah, it took me a while to beat that one too. I was like, man, I was like back to back, like super hard bosses.
Not letting up.
Yeah, and like the very next mission.
Yeah, and it was a cool mission though, leading up to.
It was, yeah. Do you know what's going on with the story at all? Because I feel like I'm pretty lost with.
Okay, so.
And granted, I'm not far. Like I'm in chapter. I think I just hit chapter 3. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you're.
Chapter 2 is very like chapter 2 is once you beat the sea spider. Chapter 2 is over.
Oh shit! Okay,
yeah,
so
it's like one mission. yeah, one like 3 missions. It's super short.
I mean, I know there's like the resistance, like the Rubiconian resistance, and you're kind of fighting against them, and then you fight for them for a second.
It's weird. It's all over the place. And yeah, and granted, you're a mercenary, so you're not really on a side, but
yeah, I think that's kind of the point, that like you're just getting paid to kill people. Yeah, it doesn't matter what side, and then you find Ari. What's
air or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, when you get taken up by the coral. I don't know, dude.
And coral's what? It's just like an energy resource.
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, it's a very From story.
And like it is, but it isn't. But it's delivered in a more direct way, but it still doesn't really make a ton of sense. Other than there's a whole different there's a bunch of different factions. They're all trying to invade Rubicon 3. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the planet, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
To get the coral, and then you have the resistance that's trying to fight them off. So
yeah, and granted, this is the 6th one, so who knows how connected they are, and we're just that lost. But yeah, that aside, the only, I mean, we talked about this earlier. The only really gripe I have with the game is the fact that, and you had brought this up, but it's very build based. It's not, and Dark Souls and Elden Ring are very build based too. But you can kind of push your way through a lot of those bosses in those games with enough skill. Yeah, with enough skill. But in this one, I feel like you really have to have the correct build to go into these. And I only get really frustrated when you go through an entire mission, and granted they're very short, but you go through an entire mission and you struggle against a boss for an hour, and you're like, maybe it's the build, maybe it's not me, and then you have to leave. If you don't have the right parts, and chances are you probably don't. You have to go back to the mission select and then go to the shop and stuff like that and do your build, and hopefully it works, and then you have to go back through the mission again. So I wish you could like have an option to buy stuff like at that supply thing they always give you before a boss, but I mean that's really my only gripe.
Yeah, and like it is build based. Like it definitely is build based, but it's definitely more forgiving than like Elden Ring, because you're in Elden Ring, you're funneling points into dexterity, or intelligence. In this game, you can just swap around as needed. I'm like hesitant to sell anything because I'm afraid I'm going to need it later. But
Well,
at the same
so
time, I mean, it sells for 100% value,
yeah, yeah,
but I'm
yeah. That's the
scared
thing. Yeah,
to get rid of
you
it.
might need it.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Like I almost want to go back and replay some old missions just to get a bunch of cash. And I've been doing like the one-on-one arena battles. I don't know if
Yeah,
you've done any of
I
those
haven't done
yet.
any of those yet. No.
Those are cool. Like those are like very like it's like a mech fight. Just
Okay,
AC versus AC, and
that's
they're
pretty cool.
super short, like a minute or less. And
Oh, cool.
yeah, I mean they give you, I think some of them give you like some weapons, and I mean they all give you cash, and then you get cash for doing like the trainings, and you get weapons as well. So
Okay.
it's worth it to like to go to the other modes, check those out too.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I'm really loving it.
yeah, and the customization's so fun to just go through all that stuff. I mean, you could lose hours into customizing all the colors and
Oh
parts
my
and stuff like
god,
that. It's
it's like I don't have the patience to do all of it, but I will like do a light customization of
yeah,
the color scheme. So
yeah, yeah.
what
It's
what's it?
really good, man. I am. I mean, I was already excited for this game just because it's From, and they just don't disappoint, and they still they don't disappoint. I mean, it's
Yeah,
there's not a lot of games like this. Like, there's not very many games where you're playing as a mech. Um,
there's like Damon X Machina,
yeah,
I guess Gundam games. I
yeah.
guess
I
like
will say one more thing. Is the scale with when you're a giant robot, it's
mhm.
always weird for the developers to make it like scaled. You know, when you have like the little tiny cars drive, you know, on the roads and stuff, like they just look kind of weird. Um, and you have to think of that in that perspective of, you know, okay, this is actually like a huge city, and here's a road where people can walk down and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And I feel
this
like it
isn't like
feels
a
just a little bit off, but I mean, that's not their fault. Like, that's one of the hardest things to do in a game where you're a giant monster or you know, a giant mech. It's just it's hard to get that scale right.
yeah, and it's even more so difficult when you're that big because you have to build this big city.
Yeah,
You have to make it realistic, and you have to make it detailed.
yeah,
But that's so hard, and I don't know. It's different than like a game where you play as a human, like GTA or I don't know
yeah,
anything like that. But with this one, you have to build out this huge city, and of course you don't have to populate it with
yeah,
people, but it's a hard task to make these kind of mech games. And you know, I got to give it up for developers like From Software and other like really respected developers that are going out and doing something different and bringing new people into a genre.
yeah,
Like they got all their clout with Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Elden Ring, and they're going back to their roots, and they're bringing a lot of new people into
yeah.
this
I'll be
niche
curious to see
genre.
how well this game does, just off the fact that, you know, a lot of people are coming from, you know, Elden Ring was a lot of people's first From Soft game.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm very curious to see how this game sells. It'll
I think
probably be
it'll
the
do
best
like a
one in
few
the series
million.
for sure.
Yeah, I don't know how the other one sold, but um, I mean this one's bound to do a couple million.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sure. I'm sure it'll do. I'm sure it'll do quite well.
Yeah,
And then like the skyboxes are like pretty gorgeous too.
yeah. So yeah, chapter one was like very very samey with kind of like winter
Yeah.
snow
I mean, it's not the best looking game in the
landscapes.
world.
Yeah,
You know, it still runs on the Xbox One and PS4, so it's not going to do anything graphically like incredible, but you know, just like just like the Souls games, like their skyboxes always look really interesting and cool looking, and that's definitely the case for this game too. And
yeah.
just the mech fights are just straight
They're
up like anime fights. It's so
yeah,
cool,
they're pretty they're pretty amazing. Like
especially
once you
Baltius.
actually
Oh,
get into the yeah, I
turned into like a bullet hell game. It's ridiculous.
yeah, there's it looks really cool to play, you know. It feels really cool. You feel
Yeah,
like a badass.
yeah, you do it. Yeah, it does do a very good job of making you feel really good when you dodge and boost to the air and do your spins and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, good game.
I'm hoping to I don't know if I probably won't finish it, but by Thursday, but
Yeah, I don't think I will either. I mean, I'm gonna keep playing, obviously, but
mhm.
yeah, I just don't think I'll get it done. So it's like, why is all these games are releasing right around Starfield? That's
I know.
insane. You know, I know obviously this game is much different than Starfield, but come on.
Well, I guess speaking of games that are releasing around Starfield, you want to jump into the news?
Let's do it.
So
Steve
Steve of
Stars.
Stars, Sea of Stars reviews came out today. It's sitting at like a 94 on OpenCritic, 91 on Metacritic.
It's pretty good.
Incredible reviews for this kind of old school 16-bit RPG, kind of made in the vein of Chrono Trigger, which I haven't played,
Yeah.
but I've heard great things about. So I've pre-ordered this on the Switch. I don't know when I'll get to it, but I don't know. I feel bad that it's coming out before another
Yeah, 2
huge
days
epic
before,
RPG.
you know, the early access, but come on, it's like pretty much the real release date, I guess, for Starfield. But
Yeah.
yeah, I really want to play that. This game, it's been on my radar since I first saw it. I mean, it looks incredible. I still haven't played the demo. I need to, but I mean, at this point, if it's this good, I'm just gonna pick it up. But it's been on my radar for a very long time. Yeah, I love old school RPGs like this.
Yeah. Looks to be really good. I love when turn-based games have like timing-based inputs
Yeah.
that can increase the power of your attacks, and that's what this one has, similar to something like Paper Mario, like
Mhm.
early Paper Mario. Maybe not as extreme, but
Yeah,
yeah, I love that kind of stuff in turn-based games.
yeah,
So I'm excited. I'm excited. Seems like it's gonna be really good.
yep. And it's on Game Pass for people that aren't quite sure. That way you can try it
And it's
out.
on PS Plus, I think, right?
It is on PS Plus. Yep. Game Pass, PS Plus, and then PC and Switch,
I think
which
it's
got Game Pass.
$35.
Yeah, yeah,
So
not bad.
yeah.
Next up, Nintendo Switch has just passed the Wii in total sales in the US. So it is right behind, and as far as the US goes, it's right behind Xbox 360 by less than 1 million units, and right behind the PS2 by a few million. So, and that's just in the US.
Okay.
But yeah, it's getting on up there.
Yeah, because globally it's way past the Wii now. It's at
Yeah, globally it's
129
like
million versus
yeah,
101.
yeah. I think it's like 129 million globally, and then I think the PS2 has like 150 million, something like that.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy how the Wii had that bigger surge of popularity. Well, I don't know if I'd say bigger, but it had that huge surge of popularity, and then it didn't have the legs. The life cycle was a little bit too long. It had like a 7-year
Yeah,
life cycle, and by then everyone had moved on. But with the Switch, like it's still selling almost as well as it was in the first couple of
with no
years.
price drop, mind you, no
Yeah,
price drop
and
at all, which is insane.
that's the real thing there. It hasn't dropped. Like the PS2 got down to like $99,
Yeah,
$79, something like that by the end. I mean, even
and the
the
PS2
Xbox got
kept
pretty low
selling
too.
for, I mean, years and years and years and years after the PS3 came
Yeah.
out. I mean, it just kept selling. It was just selling forever. Yeah, I mean, the Wii. I mean, I felt like, I mean, it was obviously, I mean, it was obviously a very high selling console, but yeah, I feel like a lot of people. I mean, there were like so many grandmas and grandpas that got it,
Mhm.
and then just didn't buy any software for it. It was just Wii Sports.
Wii Sports and Wii Fit.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I think it
that was
had a
really it.
really high like beginning, and then it just, I'm not gonna say hard dropped off, but I think you're
The
right.
novelty
I think the
wore off.
legs,
Wore
yeah,
off.
it was a little long in the tooth for what it was. And then the Wii U obviously didn't help. I think once the Wii U came out, like everything just dropped completely.
Yeah.
But yeah, crazy the Switch is this popular. No price drop. But I mean, the games. This is.
It's got the games.
I mean, we're in year 7, and there's still bangers coming out. There's still bangers to be coming out in the near future. So, man,
Can we just talk about Pikmin 4 still topping the charts?
yeah, in
Like,
Japan too. It's like it's crazy.
I think in Japan alone, like I know physical, it's sold like 800,000, but probably that with digital, it's well over a million just in Japan.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure it's like
it
a
could be like a 10
3-4 million
million. Yeah, I mean, it could be like a 10 million at the end. Maybe not 10, but at least like 4 or 5 maybe by the end of the year.
by the end of this year. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe. You never know.
and it's I mean, it's pretty good.
It's incredible. Yeah, it's a
It's an
really
amazing
great
game.
game. Two back-to-back just fantastic games from Nintendo.
Yeah, yeah, and
Good
that
run.
was kind of, I don't want to say slept on necessarily, but I don't think people thought it was gonna be as good as it was.
No, not at all.
But yeah, really great game. Nick, you want to read the last one, then we'll jump into some direct discussion.
Yeah. So Baldur's Gate, it was announced to be coming to the Xbox Series X and S. Apparently, the developers had a discussion with Phil Spencer, and
Yeah,
uh, they decided that the Series S and the Series X didn't need to have parity in the sense that Series S wouldn't get split screen at launch.
yeah,
Wouldn't launch with split screen. Series X still would, but that's one feature that's going to be missing from the Series S. So that's this is the first game that doesn't have feature parity between the two console versions,
yeah,
which is I don't know how concerning that is. I don't know if that'll continue to happen, uh, but it's a good thing that Baldur's Gate is coming to Xbox. I mean, this
yeah,
is such a huge game right now that it would be a huge loss
yeah,
not to
for
have this
sure.
game on every system it can be on.
Yeah,
And especially for Xbox right now, like they need to be in the conversation.
yeah,
And this
yeah.
is
I
a
mean,
good way
this is
to.
like a game of the year potential
Oh
game.
yeah,
So they've got to, and for it to not be on the platform because of split screen, I mean, it's just
it's a weird
it's
hill to
just,
die on.
yeah, yeah. So I'm glad they met up with Phil and got that taken care of, because I mean, yeah, they need that to be on their platform. Huge RPG. I did tweet this out last week in regards to that, but I think, I don't know. I think Microsoft and Xbox made a mistake when they announced these products. I don't think the Series S is necessarily a bad console, because I mean it's great for what it does, but as the biggest tech company in the world, they should have had the foresight to know that, hey, at maybe some point, these games are going to get so sophisticated that we can't have console parity. We just can't. And be upfront with people at the very beginning. Say, hey, both of these consoles are extremely powerful. The Series X is more powerful, and it already gets better frame rates and all that stuff. And say, maybe at some point in the future, if it happens, there could be a potential where one feature is not available on the Series X or S and is on the X. And then, of course, then you get into that topic of, well, should that game be less expensive on the Series X? I know it's a weird conversation to have, but
Yeah,
as a tech company, they should have known that this would eventually happen.
yeah, and it's an unfortunate game to happen with because it's so big right now.
Yeah.
Um, that it's just getting uh, a lot of headspace or it's taking up a lot of headspace for a lot of people. And yeah, they should have seen this coming. I don't think they should have promised feature parity. I think they
Yeah.
just should have said, hey, this is like a budget version. So what you pay for is what you get.
Yeah. Let consumers decide with that knowledge. And a lot, I mean, in Series S is the most, it's more popular than the X, just because it's $200 cheaper.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's a great system. But yeah, I'm glad they are willing to do some sort of wiggle room with that thing. I don't think it's holding back the industry as some people say it is. And we're barely into like the quote unquote next gen anyways.
Yeah, I think that's overblowing it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we know Spider-Man's going to be incredible, and like that's going to be like the first really next gen experience for the PS5. So I can't wait to see what that looks like and how that runs. But yeah, I think people are kind of overblowing like the Series S a little bit, and I think people that have the Series S aren't really the ones that are like so vocal about it.
No, I mean, chances are they don't care. They're just happy playing the games they're playing on the Series S. Like, it's one of those things, like, you don't know what you don't know, right? Like, I'm not going to sit here, if I had a Series S, I'm not going to sit here and, compare the frame rate and the graphical fidelity to the Series X, because I don't have a Series X in this case. I'm just
Yeah.
like, I'm just enjoying the game that I have. And like, I don't know. People
So
get
then
so
why
caught up.
are people complaining, Nick? Why
I
are
don't
people
know.
complaining about a console that they'd have no plans on buying in the first place?
I don't know. I don't know. Well, we know, but
Yeah,
I
we
just
know.
think people get way too caught up in the numbers, when at the end of the day, like, whether you're playing a 4K game or a 1080p game, your eyes and your mind are gonna adjust to it within 10 seconds, anyways.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be fine. You're
And,
not a
a lot
supercomputer.
of people
You
probably
can't
don't even
tell.
have like 4K TV, so they can't
Yeah,
even. You know what I mean?
like,
Like 4K is a pretty. I mean, it's relatively new-ish. It's been on the market for years now, where it's been affordable. And those really cheap affordable 4K TVs, I don't think are even true 4K. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's such a weird hill to die on and fight on about this stuff. Like, I don't know. At the end of the day, if you have a Series S, you're probably not complaining about anything. You're probably just enjoying playing all these games at what it's capable of.
yeah. This is why I get so annoyed at all, like, the comparison videos between the PS5 and the Series X and the Series S, because I'm looking at these and I'm like, I can't tell the difference.
No.
Aside from maybe a few things here and there, but like, for the most part, this game looks the same on all platforms. Like,
Yeah.
let's not cause more of a divide than there already is
And
between
all the games, like, I don't think there's any
consoles.
games that don't do a fidelity mode and a performance mode. Like, there's still
They
even
all do.
that difference within the games on these more powerful consoles. Like, none of these consoles can do 4K 60. It's always either or.
Pick your poison.
So if you're going to be comparing consoles, like, why don't you compare the games on these on these powerful systems, and then choose it from there. But I don't know, man. I just enjoy games. Like, it's we've talked to this discussion to death, but it's just it's really annoying sometimes. It's like, man, like, do y'all enjoy video games? Like, because I feel like you just complain about it on the internet all day long, and just don't enjoy one of the best years in gaming right now.
Yeah, and like, I'm gonna touch on Starfield for a second, but it's like, yeah, it would be easy to look at the Starfield leak that says, the worlds are kind of siloed. You can't walk around the world, and it's like, oh yeah, you think about it at first, you're like, oh, that sucks, and then you actually think about it, and you're like, would I spend 10 straight hours trying to walk around a planet, or would I do what everyone else would do, explore the immediate area around you, say, oh, this planet's cool,
And then move
do
on.
whatever missions, and then move on to the other 999 planets. Like, I'm not. No one does that on No Man's Sky, and no one's gonna do it on Starfield. That's being way blown out of proportion.
Yeah, but
It's a
because
video
it's a
game.
thing, and
Yeah,
it's
but
the biggest, one of the biggest games of the year. It's exclusive. People are gonna have to nitpick every little detail about it for whatever reason. When every game
like,
has, boundaries and stuff like that, it's just ridiculous.
every game is a game, and every game has technical limitations. This is an RPG. It's not going to be seamless traversal between space and world like No Man's Sky is, because No Man's Sky doesn't have really any NPCs. It doesn't have quest lines, deep quest lines that you follow, and that game's not keeping track of every item.
Does it not have that stuff? I thought it was pretty sophisticated now.
It is, to an extent, but it's nothing like a
It's nothing like a Starfield, or
yeah.
Okay.
It's not.
I was thinking about playing it just to get that perspective before Starfield dropped, but I don't know.
I think they're going to be pretty different.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
It's I mean, I saw people count. Yeah, I saw people counteracting with Spider-Man. It's like, who's gonna fly outside of like New York City and try to fly through the water? Like, you're gonna hit a boundary at some point, or you can't you physically can't swing. That's a boundary, you know. So
Like
it's
Tears of the
pretty
Kingdom had
annoying.
a boundary.
Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, and I mean they had you're on the giant. Is it like a giant island? Right? Is what Hyrule is? Just a big, I guess, continent, right? Or
Well,
big
when you're in
country.
Gerudo, when you're in the Gerudo Desert, it just says you can't go any farther.
That is true. Yeah. So I mean, nobody complained about that.
No, no, but I don't know. I hate to see this kind of like negative, these negative leaks, like the leak of launch. Like people should be excited, and so a certain group of people are trying to take that away, and it's just
It's the
I don't know.
ponies. The ponies. You suck. We hate you.
Like I wouldn't want anyone to do that with Spider-Man 2 when that comes out. I want people to be excited for it. I want to be
Yeah.
excited for it.
Because now you're
It's
gonna
just
have people.
weird.
You're gonna have people on the Xbox side. You know,
They're like,
that
oh, this game, oh, it
yeah.
blah 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 blah. It's like
And it's like
stop,
it's
man.
yeah, it never stops.
Just let it be.
Yeah, I implore people to be the bigger person and just let the game come out and be amazing because it's gonna be amazing.
And just don't be a fanboy.
Yeah,
Like
just don't be annoying.
there's literally these companies, they don't owe you anything.
No, and
They don't know who you are.
and we'll talk about here in a second because it's not on our list. But PlayStation is the Apple of the video games industry because the PlayStation Portal is got its official name. I don't think we talked about this last week. I think this came out the next day or something. But yeah, the PlayStation Portal is $200, and I don't know who this is for. It's not for me.
Why does this make them the Apple of the video game industry?
Just because. So PlayStation Portal is $200, right? Which is not a horrible price. I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be $3, but so I'm glad it's $2. It's got no Bluetooth, so you have to use their proprietary headsets, which are $200 and $150.
Can you not just plug in your like into a?
I think you can. I think you can plug in. Yeah, you can plug in like a headphone, but it's just like no Bluetooth, really. Like, come on. What is this? The Switch?
It probably like interferes with the connection between the console and the.
I don't believe it.
Tablet. I don't know. Yeah, like I don't know who this is for, and I feel like it's going to confuse people who don't own a PS5 and are like, oh, I can play like PS5 games on the go, kind of like the Switch. When that's not really the case. You have to own a PS5, and if like sure you can play it on a different Wi-Fi connection, but you still need to have the PS5.
So I'm still confused about this thing. Can you play? If I was to have the PS5 in my house, and I went to mom and dad's house, I can play it on I can play it on the Portal.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
It's like the Microsoft kind of version of that or whatever, like the Logitech something. Same. Actually, no, it's a little bit different because that's cloud gaming, so you don't need an Xbox to play it. It's like the I don't know what it's like, but you can be on a different Wi-Fi.
Okay, so you can be on a different Wi-Fi. Okay, so that's cool. I mean, that's cooler than I thought it was. I thought it was literally just you were stuck to your home Wi-Fi. So that's pretty cool. But still, I mean. It's $500 console, $200 headset. If you don't want wireless earbuds, that's another $150. I don't know, man. Like Sony just I don't feel like they're iterating a lot with their stuff. I mean, they've got like the PSVR 2. They got the VR, that didn't really sell. I mean, I think it sold like 5% of. I think it sold like 5 or 6 million units. PSVR 2, from what we know, hasn't really sold that well. The PSP wasn't a failure, but wasn't great, and the Vita didn't do well at all. And now they're putting out this remote play device. It's like, who are they trying to sell this to? Not even people that are in this ecosystem don't seem to want this stuff.
Yeah,
it's weird.
I think,
and options are good. I'm not saying that this is the dumbest thing in the world, but I don't know. I don't get it.
I think they see the popularity of mobile gaming and really just the popularity of the Switch and the Steam Deck, and they're trying to emulate that the best they can. Uh, but the only way they can do it is by requiring you to connect to your PS5, because otherwise,
Yeah,
what else what else would you do
I'd rather them
in
just
order?
make a PSP or something like that. I think that would be really
I
cool.
don't think they have the resources to split.
Yeah, you're probably right. And then it's like one of this. It's like, I mean, that's the really only reason why the Switch works is because it's the same game. You can
Yeah,
take
it's
it
the same game.
portably. It with the PS, like they do another PS Vita or whatever. It's like, do you make the thing powerful enough for you to take it on the go, or
Mhm.
does it have its own set of games that aren't quite as good as like the console experience?
Yeah, and that's kind of my that's kind of like the problem with the PS with the PlayStation brands, because there's going to be a PS6, and presumably, just like the other all the other five PlayStation consoles, it's going to be a home console as well. So
Yeah,
unless they severely change things up and make it a hybrid console like the
yeah,
Switch, they're never going to get to a point where they have a grasp on the mobile market, unless
yeah.
they fully silo their development resources between a home console and a mobile
And I don't think
platform.
parent Sony is going to allow them to do that. I think
No,
they've put
not
too much
after,
into the VR2, hasn't done well.
and they can barely support that. Like they haven't had any first party games since it launched,
I
right?
don't think so. I mean, they've had some stuff. Yeah, nothing first party that I can think of. Um, and that's where I think that like the DS and 3DS were so good because yeah, there was the Wii and the Wii U and stuff like that. Um, but those games they weren't, you weren't taking like Uncharted, you weren't taking
No,
a console game and trying to replicate that onto a weaker hardware. With Nintendo, I mean, you had your Zeldas, which were 2D and stuff like that, so they were a very different feel than what the main console can offer. They were just a completely different type of game. So it made sense, and I think that's why it works so well for Nintendo versus the PlayStation Vita and PSP brand or whatever, where it's just you're trying to replicate that home experience, and it's like, why not just put the resources into the home experience and give us another like
something
Uncharted or
different.
something like that? Like, it's cool to
It's like
take Uncharted on the go, but come on,
don't do the mobile Uncharted. Like
do something
do I
different.
don't know. Yeah, do something. Do another version of Uncharted.
Yeah,
Like a 2D side scroller. That could be
that
cool.
could be cool. I mean, do something, and I don't know. That's
Anyways,
what. Yeah, yeah. I'm done with the conversation. I feel like I'm just gonna start getting mean. Um, yeah,
you want to get into some direct
let's do it.
predictions?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I think the last 8 or 9 years we've always had a direct in September. So that's pretty much guaranteed. There's already been a lot of rumblings about a direct. I'm thinking like the first 2 weeks in September is my guess. What's yours?
I think the second week.
The
That's what I'm
second
gonna go
week.
with.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So we'll keep it pretty short because obviously there's so many different predictions that we could do, but let's go realistic prediction, Nick. Give
Okay.
me
I can do that.
give me one. We'll start with GameCube. Give me a GameCube remaster that you think could potentially be there.
Metroid Prime 2.
Metro Prime 2. Okay.
Plus 3. Plus 3.
So you think it's
So
gonna be
that
a dual pack?
Yeah, I think it'll be both of them for 50 or $60, but it's not gonna be
That's not
not
gonna
gonna
have
get the
the
same treatment
yeah.
as the first one.
So it'll probably be called like kind of like Pikmin because that wasn't like a full remaster. So it'll probably be Metroid Prime 2 and 3 collection or something like that. It won't have the remastered branding on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
I'm thinking Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door.
You think you
I
actually
think
think it's
that's a
gonna happen?
possibility. I mean, we're coming up on the year of the Mario, so I think that could be. I think that could be possible.
Okay.
maybe not shadow dropped or anything like that, but
Yeah, I don't know if that one would be shadow dropped if it was a proper remaster.
I know we got Mario RPG coming out, this year too, so maybe not. Maybe it won't happen, but
hey, you can always dream.
Yeah, but I think Prime is I think almost a lock in at this point.
Yeah.
Do you think it'll be shadow dropped as well, and then have it come out a couple months later physical?
If it's coming out physical, I think they'll just announce a date for it.
Okay.
I don't know if they're gonna split it up like that again. I mean, I don't know how well that worked for them.
Okay.
When they did it for Prime, but yeah, I would say it's either all digital and it comes out that day, or it's physical as well, and they just announce a date for it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how well that shadow drop did for them. I don't know.
I mean, it sold over 1 million, but I don't
Yeah.
think it, did anything better than that, unfortunately.
Okay.
Don't know what my camera's doing.
And then give me one realistic prediction of a new game, or like a new announcement in general that we'll get from the direct.
This might be the fanboy in me, but I think we'll see the Fire Emblem 4 remake.
Okay.
Coming out maybe early next year. That's rumored to have been in development for a while, and of course, Engage was done for a long time. So
yeah. Okay.
I think that one will be next. In terms of like other new announcements, I mean, I really don't know.
Or just something that you would like to see, like that's kind of realistic, like the Switch 2. I mean, there's always a possibility, but I don't think so. Or the Switch Focus was like the big leak from like that. Did you see that?
I saw a little bit of it.
That was like the worst Photoshop I've ever seen. It was like a black background. It had like the Nintendo Focus logo, and then it had like a weird chandelier in the corner. It was weird. It was super weird. A super weird logo.
Is it called the Nintendo Switch Focus or Nintendo Focus?
The Nintendo Focus or Nintendo Focus or whatever. Which I think that name has been rumored in the past.
Oh, what? Yeah, what is that light in the top right?
It's weird.
Or is that just the reflection of a screen?
It could be. I thought it was like a chandelier or some sort of light or something like that. But...
Yeah, no, I see it's a light. I'm just wondering if
it's weird.
That was taken. I don't know.
Oh, you're talking about like if someone took it like with their phone or something, and it's the reflection of the phone. Okay, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know.
These alleged leaks are about to get so dumb over the next year.
It's so funny.
I mean, I at this point I don't even know what else I'd want to see. Like we're getting the 2D. I obviously love to see a 3D Mario, but I don't think that's going to happen until the next Switch.
Yeah, I think that's a launch title for the Switch, the next Switch, whatever.
Yeah, and then Metroid Prime 4.
That was going to be mine. I think we'll officially see the unveiling and get a release date for it, or at least the time frame, like early 2024.
Okay.
Like I think it'll start with Metroid Prime 2 and 3, or however they announce those, and then it'll follow up until Metroid Prime 4. Release date time frame.
It's been a long time.
Needs to be shown off.
Literally haven't seen anything.
Just a logo.
Wasn't there like a leak or something really recently that said that
there was
Prime 4 was going to have multiplayer?
There's something like that, and they also talked about it, that it was like an open world as well.
Prime 4 was an open world, or
open world? Yeah, that it was still, it's still. I think it still had like obviously the Metroid formula, but I think it was a bigger world than what Prime was, like a more of an open-ended game.
I guess
I think people compared it to like maybe Halo Infinite, kind of like that, where yeah. But
that'd be cool.
Would you want multiplayer at all in the Metroid? I think there was
Yeah,
multiplayer
I think
in
it'd be fun.
Prime, right? And two,
Yeah, maybe it was in
two and
2,
three.
and Hunters on the
Yeah,
DS.
yeah,
I think it'd be cool. Something like
yeah.
Halo would be awesome.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know how much I'd play it,
Yeah.
but I don't know if they had like
you,
some
you
like
played a
team
lot of
deathmatch.
like the Conduit multiplayer.
Oh, dude, fucking love the Conduit. That game was so glitchy, so laggy on the Wii on our doo-doo internet connection, but when it worked, it was a fun game.
Do you think they'll ever bring what if that's the game that they port over? Like the
I
Conduit
would
1
lose
and
my
2?
mind. I would lose my mind if they brought back the Conduit. Oh,
Cuz that was exclusive, right? For the Wii?
yeah, yeah.
And
I
it was
played through that campaign so many times.
and it was and I think that was the first game that launched with the Wii Plus, right? The Wii Plus thingy.
Yeah,
It's
I
either
think it
that or
was.
Red Steel 2.
Red Steel 2 was one of the launch ones.
Okay.
Red Steel 2, if they brought that back in some capacity, that'd be awesome because that game
Cool.
was really good.
Nintendo, man, free money. Come on.
Come on, yeah, just make a Conduit 3.
Oh my gosh, I don't think they made the Conduit 3. Give us 1 and 2 and then we'll see what
how that
happens.
goes.
Come
I don't even know if that developer is around anymore.
Probably not.
High Voltage Software. I know they had a few other games.
That would be really cool.
I know they're still.
Or Boomblocks. Where's Boomblocks at? Give us Boomblocks.
Yeah, get Steven
Steven
Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg's Boomblocks. The Wii was such a. It was one of the consoles of all time.
it's one thing. It was, yeah, one of the consoles had a couple of like deep cut hits
It did.
or deep cut really good games that
I think
didn't get
Skyward
enough
Sword
love.
just really soured my overall experience of the Wii.
Yeah,
I just did not like that game, and it really made me mad. Yeah, I think
I
Metro.
never finished it
Yeah,
on the Wii.
I would like to see Metro Prime 4 to like end the show. I think.
Mm-hmm. It's
Yeah.
time for that to happen.
Yeah,
We've
they
been
need to.
talking about it for years.
Yep. But I don't think people are speculating Switch 2. I don't think we'll see it at a direct. I think we'll get it like a. I don't know. Do you think they would do it at a direct, or do you think they would do it at like just a? I'm not gonna say a Twitter drop or anything like that, but
I think they would announce something like, "Oh, hey, we're gonna reveal our new console on this date." I don't think it'd be a direct.
Okay.
They typically just do like their like refresh
Yeah.
consoles or handhelds, like the new Nintendo 3DS, like that kind of stuff. That's the direct type announcements, and then everything else they'll just. I'd reckon they would just have like a singular presentation for that.
Okay. I could dig it.
Yeah.
I would say like early next year is when they announce it. I don't know.
Early next year with the holiday release date.
I'm thinking like early next year. Like they announce it in January and it comes out in like April or May or something.
So do you think the Princess Peach game is a Switch 2?
It could be. That could be like a good Switch 2 launch title. But then what about like the Dark Moon remaster? I feel like that's probably a Switch game, a base Switch game.
I think so. I think that's gonna be like an early 2024.
Yeah,
game.
We'll see. All right. Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up. Yeah, just busy week with these games coming out. So yeah, if you guys can leave us a review on your favorite podcasting platform, that would be most helpful. I apologize for any hardcore ponies. We probably shooed you guys away, but hey, you know what? You guys are annoying, and it's okay. Yeah, and then we got Starfield coming up, so we'll be talking an awful lot next week.
We should have like for the next few weeks. This is assuming that we really like Starfield.
Yeah.
But for the next few weeks, we should have like a little section on the show, like called like Brothers in Space or something, where we just talk about weird shit that happens.
Yeah.
In Starfield.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be really cool. Yeah, I'm very excited for this game. I can't wait to just get in there and just see what happens.
How late are you gonna play on Thursday? You know, let time take you away.
I'll probably play until like midnight or so, maybe a little after.
Okay. Get some
I mean,
Mountain Dew and Doritos and
yeah, to get some Mountain Dew Code Red and Doritos and just grease up my controller.
yeah, maybe save that for the Call of Duty launch. You know.
But yeah, expect a lot. Probably some more Armor Core.
Mhm.
Definitely a lot of Starfield talk next week. We'll probably do Starfield like we do Zelda, like we did Zelda and Elden Ring, and kind of, you know, we'll talk light spoilers and like the beginning, middle, end kind of thing. You know, and then like you said, talk about just random encounters that we came across in the galaxy.
Yeah,
go from there.
that'll be good because the main story is probably only 30 to 40 hours. Like every typical, you know, Bethesda game. But
Pete Hines says the game doesn't really start until after the main story's over. So I mean, gosh,
I'd love to hear that.
This game is 5,000 hours long.
You have to play for your whole life to get the best experience of this game. Come on, man.
Yeah. We're excited. We'll be talking a lot of Starfield in the coming weeks, and then we'll have a big spoiler cast or whatever, you know, down the line, and we'll make sure to give everyone plenty of time to play the game and stuff like that, and you know, obviously have a big spoiler warning and stuff. But yeah. Nick, any last thoughts?
Hope everyone enjoys the long weekend and you know, has a lot of time to play some Starfield or Armored Core or
Sea of Stars,
whatever you want. Sea of Stars, yeah.
So much stuff.
So
all right, guys. Well, we will see y'all. We'll have to figure out what we're gonna do for podcast next week since it's Labor Day.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do it like Sunday night or Sunday during the day or something like that.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. But we'll definitely be back next week. Hopefully everyone has a good week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.